Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers, I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna, promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being whose mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future. Know you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah, baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no one's mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no one's mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.
Hello everyone, happy Thursday. Hope everyone is well. Gonna be a short one today, just a couple of updates. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Righty ho, let's get straight into it. First of all, yeah, we're gonna talk about Emily Andrews today. Emily Andrews is back. Camilla Tominey has been very quiet recently, so I guess Emily just saw this as an opportunity to have her moment to shine. But first, let's start with some positive things. It's World Book Day, and some people decided to to go as Harry. The little ins dressing up as our Duke. I do sincerely hope that they haven't actually read the book. But I thought it was very adorable that there were some little-uns who went as Harry for World Book Day. Usually on World Book Day, the kids do dress up as a character from the book. Hence, these young lads looking very adorable here. Also, still no updates for performers for the clowning. I actually just think that they should cancel the concert portion, because you would think that, given that everybody has now noticed that nobody seems to want to come and perform, they would have announced, oh, this person's coming, that person's coming. But it doesn't seem like a lot of people are interested. And there was a very good article actually in Rolling Stone. I'm just going to read a little bit because I think it did a pretty good job of explaining why this might be. I mean, I guess those of us in the squad, like, we know why, but anyway, so this was in the Rolling Stone. It said, "Snubbing the King, why don't big stars want to perform at Charles's coronation? A number of artists have turned down offers to perform at King Charles's coronation in May. Some theorize that the royal family's recent PR disasters are to blame." So it goes on to say, in 1997, after attending a royal gala evening, Joe Hallowell kissed Prince Charles on the cheek. According to royal protocol and etiquette, you're only allowed to shake the royal's hand. So the scandalous moment landed on the front pages of newspapers and went down in pop culture history. Now, instead of daring Ginger Spice to kiss Charles for a second time, the Spice Girls are avoiding him altogether. The group is among a number of British pop stars who have turned down the opportunity to play at his coronation in May. Adele, Harry Styles, Robbie Williams, and Elton John are also were also reportedly asked to play and refused the offer. When Rolling Stone asked why, the teams for all of the artists denied to comment. By Elton John, who confirmed he was asked but wouldn't play due to scheduling issues. Musicians used to practically line up outside the palace to perform at any major royal events, but that has changed. And that is true, and not just for UK artists, also from the US as well. Kanye performed at the memorial concert for Diana. The public is left wondering, will any major star agree to play at King Charles's coronation? The 90s were so different in British pop culture. It was New Labour, everybody was playful and being a bit cheeky, explains Michael Cragg, author of Reach for the Stars, a book about 90s and 2000s British pop. But Cragg says that cheekiness absolutely isn't here anymore. Now we really want to know who people are and the version of the royal family that we've learnt of recently through Prince Harry's book and how the Prince Andrew scandal was handled. Well, the reality is awful. You could not be the biggest band in the world now and walk up and plant a kiss on them and it still work. To perform at a royal event in 2023 would be to align yourself with blatant scandal. The recent allegations regarding Prince Andrew's relationship with Epstein and an alleged relationship with one of Epstein's victims are still fresh in people's minds. And so is Andrew's disastrous 2019 BBC Newsnight interview and said claims. But before people had a chance to reconcile their feelings about Andrew, Prince Harry and his wife, Meghan, publicly announced that they were stepping down from royal duties. In the years since, Harry and Meghan have levied several accusations against the royal family and UK press, claiming their respective treatment of Meghan led to fears for their mental and physical health. The discourse and growing divide between the couple and the institution was well documented in Harry Spare and the Netflix documentary from the couple. The royal family has faced a number of PR disasters in recent times, and anyone performing at the show would have to consider whether there would be a backlash from appearing amongst their fans, says Simon Jones, PR to Little Minx, Niall Hornan, and Lewis Tomlinson. Of course there would be, especially if you are a major mainstream pop star whose fans are likely more aligned with, I would say progressive politics. It's probably not going to go down well with that audience. On that same note, it would be laughably straightforward On that same note, it would be a laughably straightforward decision to decline an offer to perform for many artists. Okay, it goes on a little bit. For many millennial and Gen Z fans in the UK, in particular, royalism is a dirty idea. Let's see. These big symbolic associations carry a lot of weight and literally go down in history books in bold and underline. I can understand why there'd be a big PR discussion around artists doing it or not. Whereas the public had previously seen the Queen as a long-standing grandmother of the nation, Charles is not the country's grandfather so much as a blank emblem of the royal family. So this is one of the things that we always say, right? The Queen became bigger than the institution. And so I think there were many people, it's starting to show, were Queenists more than they were royalists. With the Queen, she was fab and glamorous to some people. Charles doesn't add anything. There's not a legacy of his that anyone would want to align with. Well, that, especially being that legacy is what happened to Diana and how she was treated in the marriage and the affair with Camilla. It's televised, so a lot of people will hear your songs, sure. But in terms of long-term PR strategy, I don't know if performing would add positively to an artist's narrative unless they were staunchly pro-monarchy. Isn't this what we've just literally been saying this whole time? So now the press are saying the loud parts out louder. But the Sussex Squad have done been saying this. And then it goes on to say, crucially, this coronation is happening in a year when the UK's cost of living crisis has dangerously peaked. Ellie, whose real full name has been withheld by request, founder of a British pop music PR company, says, strip back the gold and red cloak and you have a country where parents are choosing between feeding their kids or keeping them warm. Guys, how many times have I said this on this podcast? How much money is the coronation costing the taxpayer? Good question. It feels like a political statement to play. Yeah, because it's almost like you're saying, oh, you're cold, you're starving, have a sing-song, guys. So it goes on to say, each artist who declines will naturally have their own political motivations based on their Britishness. As Adele superfan Grace Martha from London notes, Adele is a proud champion of being working class from Tottenham, one of the most ethnically diverse areas in Britain. The pomp and money this coronation is costing doesn't represent her values at all. Okay, then it goes on. It goes on to say basically everything that I have been saying, and we have all been saying pretty much since they announced the coronation. But there you have it in black and white in Rolling Stone. Now the media is saying it as well. But the squad is usually there first, aren't we? Right. Let's get your comments before we continue. Hi Lydia, hi Sonia, hi Brenda. Welcome everyone for just coming in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Danielle, you said that's adorable. I can't picture any kids dressing up as any of the other royals for Halloween. Maybe Diana or the Queen. Has anyone seen a friend dress up as Diana or done it themselves? Yeah, I've seen some like kiddie Dianas at Halloween. And the Queen as well. Dory, was there a concert for the Queen's coronation? No, because that was a very different time. But there have been concerts for all of her jubblies. Having said that, I haven't watched the coronation in full. Maybe they might have had like a band or like an orchestra, but not a whole concert. I don't think so. Right, let's we'll go into the next thing. Also, if you haven't watched the Stephen Colbert questionnaire feature, the new part of the interview with Harry, that was released. Definitely go and watch it. He did mention the England rugby team, and they posted on their Twitter, because Harry mentioned that he had. Well, I think no. Sorry. Stephen asked him, "Have you ever asked a celebrity for their autograph?" And then Harry said, "Yes, the England rugby team." And so there's a throwback picture from the moment. So Rugby World gave a shout out. Also, Sarah Ferguson gave an interview. I think this was the New York interview that she was going to do to promote her new book. And she was very positive about Harry and Meghan. I think that she's grateful that Harry and Meghan invited her to their wedding, because they were not invited to William and she was not invited to William and Kate's wedding, and that must have felt awful for her, just basically being shunned. And it's like Harry and Meghan were kind enough to welcome her back into the warm. And so she's only ever had nice things to say about the couple, and she just said in the interview, "I'm not in a position to make any judgments," and that is true. She says, "I don't believe that any single person has a right to judge another person. I'm not in a position to make any judgments. I have been judged all my life, and I have no judgment on the Sussexes." I think that's a classy response. Right. Before we go into the Emily Andrews thing, I'll get through your comments. Yeah, Mina, if Tupac was alive, he definitely wouldn't go. But maybe his hologram will go. A hologram might be the only thing they can get to go. Thank you so much, Lex, for the super chat. You said, "I didn't like the article take on Americans. Why do the UK feel like we don't know things? Maybe we thought that Adele didn't do it because of Harry and Meghan." Are you talking about the Rolling Stones article? I don't know. I thought it was pretty truthful the way it was written. Is that what you're referring to? Sorry, Lex, I'm not quite sure what you mean there, but thanks for the super chat. Okay, on to the next thing. Emily Andrews. So the tweet with the white background, that is what Emily Andrews posted today. The tweet with the darker background, that is what Emily Andrews posted in 2020. So today she posted that Harry and Meghan had begun to pay back the £2.5 million renovation cost through monthly rent. 3 years ago, Buckingham Palace confirmed the figure. By my calculations, Harry and Meghan have not repaid the 2.4 million they said they would. So far, it's been just over 600,000. Complete and utter lie. There are 3 different reports of Harry and Meghan paying back the 2.4 million that was spent through the sovereign grant to renovate Frogmore Cottage. Mind you, they never had to pay back that money because it was a gift from the Queen. And Emily Andrews tweeted about this back in 2020. She wrote she retweeted an article that Richard Kay wrote about them paying back the money. The money was paid back. So why is Emily Andrews now writing a lie in the Daily Mail? And she has not corrected this lie, by the way. So she went on. So there's like a thread that she posted. She went on to post, "I personally don't care whether they pay or don't. The house did need urgent renovation work. But it does seem rather vindictive of Charles to do this just days after Harry's book came out. Publicly, it was all no comment, but this revenge eviction in June behind the scenes. Others will see this as Charles being strong and making a stand against a couple who have thrown grenade after grenade. But the claim from Harry and Meghan's people that Frogmore is still a family home with filled closets does not stand up to scrutiny. Here's them packing it up." Did Harry and Meghan's people say that it's still a filled home a family home with filled closets? I don't remember that. And then she goes on to say, it's a bold move from Charles. And then somebody responded to her saying, "By the financial report accounts, apparently they have paid back the renovations which is true. They've paid back the renovations, and then they were also on top of that paying rent. And then Emily Andrews responds by saying, "Ah, yes, thank you. Well, then perhaps they are owed some money back." Well, if they're being evicted, I would say that they are owed that money back. Certainly, there is a provision for Andrew being repaid the 7 million he paid to renovate the Royal Lodge. No, there isn't, because where did Andrew get that money from? If that money came from the Queen, then he shouldn't get that 7 million back. And so Emily Andrews wrote that article. She still hasn't corrected the lie. And this is exactly what I think Meghan said in one interview, that the British press will publish something and then the lie will travel further than the truth, because most people don't bother to fact check. I actually thought that Emily Andrews had gone independent, so I'm surprised to see her back in the fold with the Daily Mail. Does that mean that she's back on the rota? Is she back being a public mouthpiece again? I don't know. But it just shows why the British tabloids are so problematic. The way in which they're so willing to post lies. Yet another day on these royal streets, folks. Let's go to your comments. Legs, who said, yes, that's what I'm referring to. It is kind of like these morning shows in Britain when they were so concerned that the people in the US will think The Crown is a documentary. Okay. Guys, if you're not hearing me, perhaps refresh. Sometimes that happens. Cookies and cream. Does Emily ever get tired of lying? She's a liar in chief. No, that is Camilla Tominey. Please don't take that away from Camilla Tominey. Mad Wisdom. Is it required for Prince Harry to keep his residence in the UK to keep his title? No, I don't think so. Even if he loses his dukedom, he's still a hereditary prince. So he'll always be a prince unless he abdicates, which I don't think he'll do. Yes, Anne-Marie, the best thing Harry and Meghan ever did was to step down as working royals. Because really, why would you want to put up with this? The way this picture creeps me out, I feel like you have to be someone in the squad to understand the body language going on here. This is why I don't want them to go to the coronation, because I don't want to see this. You've got William here acting as if nothing is going on, Kate being her icy self, Harry like a sniper, watching that crowd like a sniper, Meghan insanely worried. This is one of the few times I've ever seen her body language like this, and it's more like, if you watch the video, it's even more pronounced. You had that weird Lee Thompson guy hovering around the whole time. Does anybody know what's happened to Lee Thompson, by the way, while we're on that subject? He seems to have just disappeared very quietly. Is he still working for the Cambridges? But this is why I don't want them to go to the coronation. Why would you put yourself through this again when you could be enjoying this? Because really, if you're living in a house like this, do you care about Frogmore Cottage? Right, that is all I had to say. Thank you everyone for coming as usual. Like I said, we're going to keep it short today. It's going to be a journey, guys, to the coronation. Yeah, Nelda, Emily needs her money. So there she goes, running back to the Daily Mail. Rent in London is indeed expensive. Mary H, you think that Emily is doing a cleanup for Charles? Well, he wouldn't need Emily to do it. He could call Rob Jobson, couldn't he? Danielle, you said, at this point, I doubt that Charles and William are completely unaware of how their actions against Harry and Meghan look to the outside world. I think they just don't care. I maybe half agree with you. I still think that the courtiers hide a lot from them. And it's kind of like that whole Emperor's New Clothes situation. Like they walk out not knowing that they're naked or not knowing how everybody else views what's going on. Okay, who's going to get the last word of the day? And as we approach the coronation, I will keep you updated on any fundraisers that could be going on. Usually for Lily and Archie's birthdays, it's more of a global charity or something to do with children, like World Central Kitchen, or I think we did what was it, the Girl Scouts, Boys and Girl Scouts of America or something like that one year. Whereas later on in the year for Harry and Meghan's birthdays, it's more to do with women's empowerment. But as soon as I know, I will let you know. Yeah, Valerie, I can't wait until the clowning is over too. Lady Pete, please start earlier tomorrow and do a call in. Yeah, I can start earlier tomorrow. Friday night and I don't have a date, so I can do an early call in tomorrow. You all can be my date. Danielle, you said if Harry wanted to hang on to Frogmore, he would. He's purged all that he's needed to, and now he feels at peace enough to let it go. Yeah, I think you're right there, Danielle. Jermaine, I don't think they will go to the coronation. Well, the Spencers aren't going to the coronation. I don't think we'll actually know until maybe a couple of days before. Because even if they did go, I don't think that they would be involved in the ceremony at all. I think they would just show up, sit down, watch it, and go home, like with the Jubbly. I doubt that they would be involved or that the children would be involved. And so if they were going to decide to come last minute, it's like, well, okay, just free 2 seats. Jessica, I might be the only one, but I am only looking forward to the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf. Listen, I'm not looking forward to the coronation. I just want it to come and go. But yes, I am looking forward to the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf because I'm going. I'm going to the opening. Can't wait. Angela Sims, I hope you had a good breakfast. Yeah, it was a really good breakfast event, actually. I enjoyed it so much. I didn't take a single picture, but if you go to my Instagram account and the Nomad, you can see a story where I posted pictures from one of the event organizers. It was amazing, but I'm still yet to email the individual who runs the charity that I'm interested in us fundraising for. So I'm going to email him and see what he says. Yes, Himi fan, after the clowning, Harry and Meghan will be free. We will all be free. Maggie, was I successful with my meeting? We'll find out when I email him and if he says yes. I will let you know. If not, there's plenty of organizations that I'm sure will be happy to have the squad's money. Alrighty. Oh, Andrew, okay, I'll just end with Andrew's question. Where will they stay? That is a good question. If they can't stay in Frogmore, where will they stay? Right. I will leave it there. Cookies and cream. I'll give you the last word of the day. Everyone, please continue to pray for success, each other, and the world. Amen to that. Have a fabulous day, everyone. Ciao.
Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers. I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna. Promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it future. Know you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no one's mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to.